I want to say to the family that Sam leaves big shoes to fill, that we knew him to be a person who didn't take himself too seriously, but took his ministry and his work very seriously. His work ethic, his commitment, his schedule, his relationships within our board staff were of the kind that give us pause about how to emulate.
Levity had a huge place in Sam's life. He could laugh. He could tell stories. He loved for stories to be told about him. And can't you just hear that hearty chuckle and then that belly laugh that came out afterwards? You know, folks, I'll tell you, this process is about telling those stories and remembering Sam and knowing that he would be telling those stories, and probably is to this day.
You could not be in his presence and not have a sense of his passion for his faith and for his work. And it occurs to me that one of the things that we lack more often than we should is a sense of passion, because you can't be around passionate people and not feel engaged. And when you were in Sam's presence, you felt engaged by him, and you felt that he was engaging you. And it was always around those who were at the margins. And so a few moments ago when we prayed up in the anteroom, the notion came to me out of the scriptures that whether we live or whether we die, we belong to God. And so what greater legacy do we have from Brother Sam than the remembrance that he lived his whole life, exercised his faith, discipleship, and professional ministry, trying to remind and to incarnate in the midst of all of those around him that they belonged, regardless of status or station in life or how they got their start or where they were ending up.
And somewhere in my stuff, I don't know where, I have a picture of a grandfather we visited. And the only surviving family member he had was his 8-year-old granddaughter. And I'll always remember the hollow look in that little girl's eyes. And through the interpreter, Sam asked when they had last eaten. And the old man replied, 4 days ago. And Sam assured them that UMCOR would respond and food would be coming very quickly within a day or so. And that night, we were in the van, starting up the slopes of this mountain pass, and the snow was pelting down, and if the driver had stopped, we would have never gotten that thing started again. But I remembered that we hadn't eaten all day, and that's when it really hit me how hungry I was. But I knew Sam had packed a large lunch for us in his backpack. And so I turned to him and I asked him to get me a sandwich. And he said, "We don't have any sandwiches." "Well, what happened to them?" I said. "We haven't eaten them. We haven't eaten all day." He said, "I gave them to that old man and the little girl where we were." "Sam," I said, "well, just give me one of your chocolate bars." He was silent. He said, "I gave them away too." He was one of the kindest men I've ever known.